Morning. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the channel. My name is Jeremy Brooks. I go online by VW LooseNuts and own a company that builds Volkswagen front safari windows for the Bugs. I have moved into other products. I built one for my 69 Ford F-250 on the rear. I also do the early Chevy pickups, 4753 or 4, I believe it is. And then I build a couple things for the square backs, rear side windows, and also the rear windows for the Volkswagen Caddy. Been in business, or actual business, since about 2010. I built my very first one in 2007. I happened to be visiting a car show down in California. Saw a guy that had one on a white, I think it was a 56 Bug. Never seen anything before like that. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, we definitely didn't have anything going on like that. So I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Decided when I got home I was gonna build my own as a, crafty person that I think I am. I thought it was a task that I could do, and was pretty successful at that. And then later on I got an oval window Bug, and which was, I think, 2010 is when this really all kicked off, and I decided, shit, I'm gonna do it again. I'll build one for that. I ended up building the front. Took a long time to kind of figure out how I was gonna build that, but I got it successfully built, and then I decided, hell, let's try the back. So I did the back oval window. Got that all done, and then figured, why stop at the back? Let's do the side pop-outs also. So I built my first full set. It was about 2010, finished up 11, somewhere in there. And it was a hit. Everybody that saw it thought it was the coolest thing ever. And, after some time, ended up wanting one. So slowly I kind of started building my own for people to purchase. And, the rest is kind of history. It was a pretty good gig that I had going for myself. Side money. I am a construction worker, regular blue collar worker. I've been doing that since 95, I think, somewhere right in there, 94, 95. Did a little bit of stuff when I was in high school, but out of high school, really kind of got started in the commercial business on that side. So I've been doing construction. This is kind of really just a side gig, where I make them on my free time. But today we're going to kind of go through, build one for a 65 Bug, and I'll kind of show some of the processes on how I build them. And then we can kind of go into some conversations on really how I got started and all that kind of stuff. But one of the big questions that I get, or comments that people make, are, what are my working conditions? Where do I work? A lot of people assume that I've got some big shop, and I got all these fancy tools and all that kind of nonsense, and never have, never will. I've always worked out of my small 2-car garage. I'll kind of give you guys an idea of what that's like here. So this is really where everything takes place. It's not anything big by any means. I do got my motorcycles in here, a couple Harleys. My son got his bike in here. So yeah, the space isn't really that huge. I think I'm roughly running in about a 12 by 20 foot section. But everything that I've ever built for customers has come out of this garage, or at the last house was same size setup. This is where I do all of my shipping. Everything kind of gets built and boxed up and shipped out of right here. So no fancy garage, or a shop I should say. It's just a regular 2-car garage, and it's been that way ever since. I'm hoping it'll stay that way. No plans of going any bigger. I do this as a side business, so this is not my main hustle, and none of the money or anything that I get from this has ever paid for a single bill for the house. This has always been fun money, and I've used the money for vacations, trips, cars, motorcycles, planes, hell, all kinds of stuff. It's been a good time, and it's been a great source of extra income. But right now we'll kind of get into building one for 65 Bug. Here is the front section for a 65 and later Bug. I do have all of the years up here. Got some convertibles. I even got the back of a Type 2 bus. Have never really done anything with it, but I do have it. And then I have down below, I got a bunch of the rears and all that kind of stuff, and side sections for the side pop outs. But I do have all the jigs, or window sections I should say, that I build off of. That's kind of where we're at. All right, well, we'll get started on this build. All right, let's get started. We got our 65 and later bottom section. Got most of it shaped up, you know, kind of rough in the idea of the shape that we want. Once it's all shaped up, we stick it in the wheel over here. Kind of get the bottom rounded so it forms the window. 65 and laters, they aren't really a true flat window. They do have a curve. But once we get it into there, we kind of get it, you know, shaped up how we want, get the curve to it. And then we just start test fitting and getting everything to the point where it fits right. Went a little too far on that one. So, little hand shaping, which is mostly what most of this is about. We get it in there and then we kind of get it close. And then I'll kind of show you guys, you know, why we kind of start doing a little bit more. So, you know, we're touching up there. Got kind of a gap right there. Bottom's pretty good. This side over here, we're pretty close again. Pull it over and we're kind of tight. And now we just kind of start getting it shaped up to where it fits perfect. All right, the way we shape it up, we got our homemade little tool here. I don't know what the hell I call it, but we stick it in the vise and that's what we use to start shaping everything up. I can't find my other dang glove, of course. Oh, fell on the floor. Then we just start taking, and as you guys saw, these edges were close. We just kind of start hand shaping it in there. Again, nothing fancy. I know a lot of people kind of get all crazy that you got to have this big old huge shop and all these fancy tools, and you don't got to have all that kind of stuff. At least I don't. Some people might want it that way. Now we're getting a lot closer. Actually, I think we're doing pretty good on this one. I think we went a little too much on this side, so we just pull it back out. It don't take much to move the metal. You'd be surprised how little force it takes to actually get it shaped up and get it to where we want it. But that's pretty much how everything goes. There's no magic. Just good old-fashioned hard work. And we still got a little bit more to go there. I think we're pretty good with that. Crooked, give it an eyeball, make sure we're straight. Nope. A little twist. A little bit more. We look pretty good there. Stick it back in the jig. Kind of see how everything lines up. See if our gaps look good. And then now you can see we got a pretty good gap on that side. This side we got one over here also. Not too bad. Then we just kind of start trimming her down, getting it to the height that we want. We'll cut the top offs of them. I do have marks on the sides. If you notice while we're looking there, I got some cut marks up there, and we just kind of start marking it on both sides where we want to cut it. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm not some YouTube star. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. First time I've really done a video kind of about this. So have some patience. Enjoy it. If you like it, subscribe, like, hit the bell. You know all that stuff that the professionals say. All right, we got those in there, and then we just kind of start cutting it down. And then we get it rough cut to the height that we want. Now that the bottom's done, we'll stick that aside and we'll start working on the top section. We got a bunch of those kind of pre-shaped up already also. And we do the same process with the top. These ones they don't bend as much, but they do have some bend to them. And we got it bent up. And then we do the same process. We just start setting it in and continue shaping as we go and get it to where we want. All right, on to the top. Same process, same steps. Probably a little bit more handwork on the top than on the bottom, but same kind of a thing. We just slowly start working it to get it to fit the way we want. So, like I've said online 100 times, when I say that they're hand built, I truly mean that they're hand built. I build every single one of them, which is the way it'll always be. I'm not going to do anything crazy and, you know, have someone else build them and then I just kind of put them together. I build them. All right, we're pretty close there. We got a little bit touching down here, a little bit gap up here, so we'll start shaping that up and getting them sides in. If you can't tell, got a little bit of a cold. Been hanging out with my grandkids a lot, and them suckers get sick all the time. So, but for me, it's worth it. I get to hang out with them. I get to deal with it. I know it sucks, but this side we got the same thing going over here. Give it a little bend, a little tweaking. Keep setting it up in there until we get it to the shape that we want. And when we're close, we do the same thing. Grab our pen, start marking out where we want to cut it. Then it's just a matter of getting it cut, and we'll pair the two together and see how we fit. All right, we got both of those cut. And we'll stick them in, stick both of them in the frame. Kind of see how they look. We're close, but we're not close enough. Got to do a little bit more tweaking. See, we got that tuned up too much? We do. Got a little bit too much of a radius in this one. So we just kind of pull some of it out. We're crooked. Just got to give her the twist. I would throw some music on. I don't ever work in here without music. But I think YouTube gets a little bit mad about that. So it's whatever. Y'all got to just listen to me. Okay. I think for size, we're pretty good. This bottom one, We overbent, so we got to pull it back out just a tiny bit. And we just keep checking. Check until it's perfect. Oh, I like that. That's good. That's good. Since we reshaped this side a little bit, we got to trim a little bit off the bottom here. It's gotten a little long. We're getting close. We're getting close. I'll show you guys the rough size of it at the moment. That's kind of where we're at so far. We're getting there. We're close. Still got a little bit more handwork, but we're getting pretty close. It's taken a lot of years to, kind of get to where it doesn't take me 4 freaking hours to make them like it first did when I first started. Now that we're close, we'll start fine-tuning the gap and making sure that we got our reveals all the way around just right, and get everything kind of perfect before we start welding on tabs and things. Like I said, it doesn't take much to get these out of whack when we're building them. There we go. All right, so best way to do it is, I have my grinder over here, and I'll just start taking off a little bit, making sure that we're square. Kind of get it just to the point where it's right there. Then before we do the top, we'll check our gap again. Make sure we're doing pretty good. We're not all crazy. Gaps look pretty good. We got a bit to take off of that end over there, but this side looks pretty good. So we'll tune this side up, get it squared to the bottom. And then this side we got to take off a little bit. And then we keep fitting. If you haven't found the theme, it's fit, it's fit, and it's fit. Make sure it's right. Oh, we're close. We're super close. God, I might actually like that. I think we're okay. Now we got to take a little bit off. We got to take a little bit off of the inside right here. It's not totally flat. Just a little bit. We're looking pretty good there. So then a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just clamp the bottom one down in the frame so it doesn't move around a whole bunch, and then really start fine-tuning some things out. Still don't like this side. It's like we got to take a little bit more off. A little bit more off on the inside just to kind of flush those out a little bit. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. You can see there's a little bit of a gap on the outside. We're touching on the inside. That's not acceptable. So we got to kind of tune that up a little bit and get it to where it's not doing that. So we'll take a little bit more off the inside. I think that might have done it. Yep, that did it. You can see now we're pretty tight. That's kind of what we want. We got a good reveal all the way across the top, down the sides. Bottom's touching right here, but you know, that's just kind of the way it is. You're gonna notice that I have a little bit more of a gap on the center section, and it's touching. And the reason I figured that out is, or do it that way, is the glass that goes in it, you know, it's got some weight to it. And the sides they're mounted hard to each other, but that center, the glass kind of sits in that center, and it pushes it down a little bit, and it'll clean that gap up once it's all put together. So it's kind of like a little overbend, and that's just to help with the glass. All right, now we got those done. We're gonna cut some tabs, weld those in, tap them, start getting everything to fit right. We'll turn off the sander. Tired of listening to that. We got enough noise in here. We don't need all the extra crap. So the tabs are really, I just get some stock at to be quite honest, this comes from Home Depot. And then I just start cutting them 1/4 inch or 2 inches, and I cut them 1/4 inch wide. That's it right there. Got a couple more. There we go. We're done with this for now. Like I said, hand built. Then we'll start cutting on these tabs. I'm gonna go ahead and rotate the camera over because you don't need to be staring at my backside the whole time. All right, we'll get the tabs welded in. We weld these in on the top side. They get welded down into the channel, down into here. We'll get the welder turned on. We'll weld those in. Trusty old Welding helmet and my apron. These two I've had since I started. No intentions on getting new ones. They've been with me since the beginning, so I'll keep them until I can't. All right, let's weld. Get those welded in, and then we kind of clean them up. All right, we'll weld up the other side. The reason we grind those down is obviously the glass sits inside there, and we don't want any ridges kind of poking at the seal, making it to where it ends up breaking the glass. Got to kind of bend these down a little bit, heating them up, kind of makes them goofed up. And once that's in, we set it back into everything. Double check that we're good. I like it. Everything looks good. Kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. Got them all welded in. Now that they're all welded in, we'll drill and tap those and kind of get our set screws so it's secure, and we'll clean up the frame and start welding on all the brackets. That's our frame. Get rid of that. We don't need that for a little bit. Get them drilled up. Got a little grandpa's oil here. It's my grandfather's oiler. I don't know how long he's had it, but worked for him for all these years. Works for me for all these next years. Change out to our countersink here. The reason why, I shouldn't say the reason why, but with all of these being hand built, one at a time, these holes here that I drill, you know, I got marks on my vise on where they go, but I mean they're not exact every single time. They're pretty damn close, but this is kind of where I talk with a lot of people that, you know, if I've messed up, or if they have something that they messed up and they need a new top or a new bottom, which is super rare. I think that's only happened to me a couple times. It's not that I can't just make a bottom or a top and send it out to somebody. I need them to send me their whole set again so I can build whichever one off of the other one, because no two ones are exactly the same. I mean, there's a lot that you can interchange the pieces, but that's rare. That's super rare. All right, got those in, and then we'll tap them. Now that those are in, we start smoothing everything out. Change the cutting disc over to a flap wheel, and we'll make everything fancy. Get that side done, flip her over and do the other side. All right, now that we got both of them secured, we look pretty good, and we'll throw it back in. Kind of give her a once over, make sure that we like it, which we do. And then we start cleaning up the frame. Nothing crazy. Kind of show you the joints now that we've got them sanded down. But as you can see, we're pretty tight. Both sides look pretty good. All right, we'll clean up the rest of the frame. You know what? I'm gonna flip you guys to the other side because that's where all my sparks are gonna go. There, that's better. Now you don't have to look at sparks the whole time. And I don't mess up my new camera, which is important. All right, now that we got that all kind of cleaned up and got all my marks from being in the jigs and stuff sanded down and gone, again, test it, make sure it fits. Perfect, love it. All right, now we get into welding on all of the brackets and the hinges. All my piano hinges, they are 304 stainless steel. When I originally started, I wasn't using stainless steel, and the rod that was in the center of here was kind of, some of the guys are having a problem with it, especially in the salty areas. But went to 304 stainless steel. I've been running these for probably, I don't know, 5-6 years now on the stainless steel. They're just better. And you can weld stainless steel to mild steel. First we get it up here, we get it in the jig, we get it centered exactly where we want it so our gaps are the same on both sides. I got a little section right here I'm not too happy with. We'll fix that. Open it back up. It's not perfect, and it bothers me. And it looks like the bottom needs to open up just a tiny bit. So we give it a little bit of a stretch. Oh, that's way better. That's the way we like it. And then again, just get it centered up where it goes. Our trusty little marker. And then at the top, I have pre-marks on where I'm gonna put the hinge. It goes right there. And then we'll start welding on the hinge. Not rocket science. Put it on those marks. Of course, why wouldn't that happen? Some of these are a pain in the ass. I have one that I've cut. Oh, there it is. Trim this one up to help with the frame. Here we go. And we start on one end. Since we have a curve, we got to weld it and move it as we go all the way around. Welding hood. Now we just start pulling it towards us as we go down, one at a time. What's going on with this stupid hood? Here we go. All right, we get all that welded on and clean up those welds also. Okay, hinge is on. Now we got to weld up my brackets on the sides here. and make those all pretty. So we'll kind of set you up in a different location and kind of see, check that out. Alrighty, we'll get our brackets all ready to weld on. Of course. And there's the LN brackets. We'll get those welded onto the frame. We'll be done. First thing we do is we weld on our latch tabs. Get those all on there. Put on our gloves because it's about to get hot. And I put them on the sides. On my earlier ones, they go on the bottom, and they can go on the bottom for the 65 through 67s. But at 68, you know, you get the dash pad, and they don't work the greatest. So I put them on the side on the 68 and newers, just so, you know, a lot of people still have the dash. You got the vents, and the tabs don't work. And I've just moved, for simplicity for myself, that 65 and newer, they all just get them on the side. It saves a headache for me explaining, and people don't accidentally buy the wrong one. Once those are on, now we weld on these last brackets. We'll tap those tabs when we're all done, and we'll be done. Weld that on. These do get cleaned up. All right, let's drill and tap those holes out so my latches could go in. tapping oil. And that is one frame for a 65 and newer car. That's all it takes. We're pretty happy with that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. A little conversation of how things happen around here. And again, no fancy tools and no big shop. Just a 2-car garage that I've worked out of since 2007. I know a lot of guys have big fancy shops, but personally, one thing I can't stand is inefficiencies, and that's from walking from one tool across the shop to the next tool. It takes time and energy, where I could be spending that time and energy on actually something else. So I keep it small, I keep it simple, and I hand build every single one. Again, if you guys like the video, subscribe, like the video, and hit that notification so you guys don't miss on anything. I will be posting a lot more on here. You guys have a good one. Thanks.